37% of tickets that have been sold have been from outside Queensland. So we've got group bookings coming from all sorts of wonderful places around the world, the Netherlands, obviously big contingents in the United States, and many parts of the globe coming here to see this battle Brisbane fought out on Sunday. As well as that, there is still tickets on sale. So if you are thinking about coming, don't think about it anymore. Just go online and purchase a ticket. There's all price ranges, so please feel free to do that and spread the word that there are still tickets available. And this is going to be the biggest boxing fight in Australia's history, so it will be part of history on Sunday. There's a great undercard, and some of those boxers you will see here today, having through their paces, Sports Jeff Horn live. He is here and he will be going through his paces in probably about a half an hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for getting into the spirit of Battle of Brisbane. It's a great ad for the city. We will be going out to a viewing audience of anywhere between 200 million people and 1 billion people on Sunday. So enjoy the event, and ladies and gentlemen, let's get on and see some sparring.
Thank you very much to the Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. Great work. A round of applause, please. Okay, it is time to begin our sessions with some of the boxers, and as the Lord Mayor mentioned, we have 7 bouts in all at Suncorp Stadium this coming Sunday. There will be 4 on the main event broadcast, and this gentleman will be amongst the highlights. He takes on an Australian named Damian, but he is all the way from Russia, and he's going to join us with his Las Vegas-based Kiwi trainer Kevin Barry. And his name is Umar Salamov, and ladies and gentlemen, he is 19 and 19. He has 14 knockouts in his undefeated record, and he's claimed the IBO light heavyweight title, the IBF East-West European title, and the WBO International light heavyweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please put your hands together and welcome the first of our boxers this afternoon. He is Umar Salamov. And he will be joined by his trainer as well, Kevin Barry, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Brisbane. Good morning. My name is Kevin Barry. I'm the trainer of this young man here, Umar Salamov. Umar recently just had a birthday. A couple of weeks ago he just turned 23. Happy birthday, Umar! Yeah. This guy turned professional at the... In fact, I'll tell you while I'm talking what I skip. This guy turned professional at the age of 18. He was a 2-time Russian champion in the amateurs. As a 20-year-old, he won the world youth professional title with the IBO and the WBO. At the age of 21, he was the European light heavyweight champion, and then was the IBO world light heavyweight champion. Umar is undefeated in 19 fights. A young man who I think is the most talented up-and-comer in world light heavyweight boxing at the moment. But we have a pretty good opponent in front of us on Sunday morning. Damian Hooper, I'm sure you guys know who he is. He's the Olympian for Australia. Hooper himself won a world youth title with the WBC. We know that this is a major opportunity for him to get in the ring with Umar Salamov and try and steal Umar's world top 10 ranking. And it's a fight that we're prepared very, very well for. With him starting off today doing a bit of skipping something that's very, very important for a boxer. It develops quickness of feet, to be able to move your feet fast, and actually in boxing it starts with the feet. You have to put your feet where you want to punch. So skipping is an exercise that we use for the conditioning of the legs, but also to make the feet fast. So you've got to be fast when you're coming forward and you're striking your opponent, and you've got to have fast feet when you're moving back, getting away from your opponent. Just with a couple of days out from the fights, all the fighters on the fight card are just tapering off now. All the hard work's been done in the gym. We've sparred 80 rounds over the last 5 weeks in Las Vegas with some pretty good sparring partners. Umar fought in New Zealand about 6 weeks ago on Joseph Parker's undercard, where he made the first defence of the WBO World Heavyweight title. And he fought a guy, Emil Markic from Croatia, who's 24-1, and knocked him out in 4 rounds and picked up two belts doing that. So one of those belts he's actually defending on Sunday. It's the WBO International belt. In fact, you might know a guy called Andre Ward. He's probably the best light heavyweight in the world. He holds all the belts. He just stopped Sergey Kovalev last week. Well, Andre Ward held the WBO International belt, and he gave it up to fight Kovalev, and that's the belt that we won recently.
Kevin, would that be a future potential opponent for Umar Salamov? Obviously, you've got a few bridges to cross between now and then, but it's Andre Ward.
The only opponent that we're focusing on at the moment is Damian Hooper.
He's a difficult opponent as well.
He's got very fast hands. He's a very good boxer. You know, a few years probably saw him fight for Australia at the Olympics. He had a tremendous win over there against a guy from the US called Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown at the moment is an undefeated 19-0 light heavyweight who's very close to a world title shot, and he beat him in the amateurs. So, you know, we have a lot of respect for Hooper.
It's a great fight, part of a great undercard. It must be exciting for you and for Umar as well to be part of such a magnificent event this coming Sunday, a huge crowd at Suncorp Stadium.
Well, I tell you what, it gives me personally an enormous satisfaction for the hard work that Duco have put in to make this happen with Top Rank, but more importantly for Glenn Rushton and Jeff Horn, you know, 2 first-class young men, 2 guys, well, I don't know how young Glenn is, but 2 guys who have worked really, really hard. You know, we've had Jeff in New Zealand fighting on 5 of Joseph Parker's undercards, and we knew this day was going to come. You know, everyone could see the talent. They knew he was world class, and he stuck about his work. He became the mandatory #1 welterweight contender with the WBO. Put himself in a position to fight Manny Pacquiao, and here we are. Sunday, 50,000 people in Suncorp Arena. It doesn't get any better and bigger than this.
You've watched Jeff Horn improve through those fights as well, training Joseph Parker, who generally he's been coming into the ring beforehand of. How much have you seen Jeff improve, and what do you think gives him a chance against Manny Pacquiao this Sunday?
Look, you know, we've all seen Jeff develop so much in the last 3-4 years. You know, he was a tremendous amateur. Turned professional. They decided as a team that they weren't going to fill his record up with a whole lot of known names, that they were going to give him 1 or 2 fights and then they were going to put him in with real guys, and they've done that from the outset. Because of that program they've had him on, they've got him in a position now to fight for the world title. He has improved and developed. He has honed his skills. He's a very complete fighter. He's a very good boxer. He's got tremendously fast hands. If you put him and Manny Pacquiao together, Jeff's a big dude. He's a very big welterweight. And you know, like we all know that Manny Pacquiao is like one of the legends of world boxing. 11-time world champion. A guy who everyone knows worldwide. Well, I tell you what, on Sunday at Suncorp Arena, the world will know who Jeff Horn is.
That is most exciting. Kevin, before you do hold the pads for Umar, if you want to start putting them on, if you're going to do some pads, I assume, I'll ask you about your WBO heavyweight champion of the world, because Joseph Parker is trained by this man here, Kevin Barry, and it has just been announced that he'll be defending his WBO belt in Manchester in September against Yuri Fury. That's
September 24.
It's a huge occasion.
Yeah, Joe's actually, I was hoping Joe was going to be here this morning for this. He's arriving in about an hour's time. You know, he would never ever have missed it. Like, you know, Joe has so much respect for Jeff, and you know, Jeff's been part of we've all been part of the Duco family for a number of years now, and so you know, we were actually originally supposed to fight Yuri Fury early in September, which would have meant Joe might have been back in camp by now. And Joe said, look, even if I'm in camp, I'm flying to Brisbane for that fight, you know, so he didn't want to miss it. Yeah, we are fighting Huey Fury September 24. It'll be Joe's second world title defence. You know, Fury's an undefeated guy, 20-0. He's a very big, awkward guy, a guy that we're going to have to make a few adjustments. It's a fight that mightn't be the prettiest fight, but it's a fight that we're very confident going into. It's a fight that will launch Joseph Parker in the UK, and right at the moment, UK is the home of boxing. It's especially in the heavyweight division. We've got all the main heavyweights except for Deontay Wilder all fighting out of the UK.
Potentially, could you get through Huey Fury and maybe move on to his cousin Tyson Fury, who's a big name, of course, in the UK and the former unified heavyweight champion of the world?
Well, yeah, Tyson Fury's not just a big name, he's a big dude. He's like 100-pound overweight at the moment. If you've seen photos of him, he's like this. So he's got a lot of work to do. I don't even think he'll get him in the ring this year. But, you know, obviously that's a definite possibility.
He's overweight. Your man here, Umar Salamov, he is right on weight. He looks fantastic.
Actually, he's overweight at the moment.
Is he? How much to go?
Well, you know, this is Umar's a big dude for a light heavyweight. He's 6'3". You know, if you look at the Andre Ward-Cover there fight, they're both 6 foot. So, you know, he's a very big guy. You know, we're cutting weight at the moment, and we'll be right on the 175-pound limit. 9 AM Saturday morning.
So what was breakfast this morning for Umar?
Oh, just a little fruit. He's a little cranky today.
He looks a bit cranky.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we doing with Umar in this session here, Kevin?
Just going to shadow a little bit, hit pads a little bit. Yeah, as I said before, you know, fighters this close to the fight is just taking off, just going through the motions. The big thing now, it's all very, very mental. It's tuning in with, you know what your game plan is. You know, you're going over it in your mind, working on the stuff that you've done in training camp.
Given that this is a day fight here in Brisbane, the broadcast begins at 11 AM, but Umar will be in the ring even before that. Have you had to alter your preparations and schedule your training sessions around that earlier start?
Well, you know, we train in the morning anyway, and since we arrived here in Brisbane, we've been really lucky that one of the local trainers, Shaggy King, would be using his gym, and he's got a ring outdoors, and we've been training outdoors first thing in the morning for the last 3 days, so it's worked out very well for us.
That's perfect.
And it's been, some of those days, it's been a little hotter than this.
The forecast is clear for Sunday, which is most exciting, so a huge crowd no doubt at Suncorp Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us here at this public training session, we will shortly be joined by Jeff Thorne at Horn. But at the moment we're having a look at some of the terrific boxers who are part of this magnificent undercard for Sunday's event, and currently in the ring is Russian Umar Salamov, who'll be fighting at light heavyweight on Sunday morning, and he'll come up against an Australian, a local boy from here in Queensland, a former Olympian as well, in the form of Damian Hooper. This is Umar Salamov. We'll be talking with his trainer Kevin Barry from New Zealand, who also trains the WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Joseph Parker, and Kevin's about to put Umar through just a few light bits of pad work, and he's mentioned that he does still have a little bit of weight to cut before Saturday morning's weigh-in. The weigh-in will be early in the morning, 9 AM on Saturday as well, so just a little bit of work between now and then for some of these fellas. And after we have a look at Umar, we'll also be getting a few of those involved in some of the other bouts through the course of Sunday to come up and to show us what they've got ahead of Sunday's event. And we'll be talking to one of Queensland's finest boxers. She's just come back from a world title shot in Argentina. Shannon O'Connell is here, and will shortly be joining me in the ring to have a little bit of a chat. She's done some fantastic work in women's boxing, and very shortly we'll come up and have a talk about her fight, her world title fight, only last week over in Argentina. Kevin?
You're talking about Joe Parker before. The first time I met Umar Salamov, I had Joe Parker and my other heavyweight, Izu Gono, in Miami, sparring with the great Vladimir Klitschko. And I remember the very first day that I walked into the gym with my son Taylor, and there was this tall, skinny Russian kid, a light heavyweight, who was 20 years old, standing there going toe-to-toe with Klitschko. And I went, are you friggin' kidding me? Absolutely fearless, and you know, we ended up, so he adopted us. There was like a team of about 6 Russian fighters there, and he adopted us He came and trained with us. I did a little bit of pad work with him. My son kept in contact with him, and about 6 months later his manager was calling, and we managed to bring him into Vegas for a couple of camps, and he's now part of our team. But you know, at the age of, when you think about tall, skinny, light heavyweight, 175 pound, in there standing, going toe to toe with Klitschko's, unheard of.
Did he hold his own against Klitschko?
This guy's fearless.
Brisbane. Umar Salamov, ladies and gentlemen, would like to say a couple of words.
I love you, Australia.
Very good. Anything else?
Let's go, Jeff Horn.
There we go. Let's go, Jeff Horn from Umar Salamov. We completely agree. And ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned, Jeff Horn, well, he's here. He's not too far away from coming up. He'll do a little bit of work in the ring with his trainer, Glenn Rushton. He'll say a few words as well. And of course, all of Brisbane and all of Australia do wish Jeff Horn the very best on Sunday. He comes up against one of the all-time greats in the form of Manny Pacquiao. But for now, let's have a look at Umar Salamov and his trainer Kevin Barry. They're going to hit some pads for us. And Umar takes on Damian at Suncorp this coming Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, you're watching Umar Salamov in action. He's part of a fantastic undercard this coming Sunday at Suncorp Stadium, all ahead of course of the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World event between Manny Pacquiao, the defending champion, and Queensland's own Jeff Horn. And Jeff will be along very, very shortly to hit the pads and do one of his final training sessions ahead of this massive fight and this huge opportunity this coming Sunday. But this is Umar Salamov. He'll be fighting at light heavyweight against Damian as part of this undercard come Sunday. And he's hitting the pads which are being held by his trainer Kevin Barry as we speak. Thanks so much for joining us. A big week ahead and a huge Sunday of course at Suncorp Stadium.